Archangel Michael says, I am gently pleading with your heart to read this message before 9 p.m. because what I'm about to reveal carries a truth so tender, so soul-stirring, that tears may quietly fill your eyes. If your spirit feels even the smallest pull right now, listen closely and hold this message with care, because it may vanish from your sight in the blink of a moment. Within these words is a message meant only for you, wrapped in the love of God, waiting to bring peace where you've been silently breaking. Type 2323 if you trust in God. There is something sacred happening in the invisible, something your eyes have not yet seen, but your heart has already been whispering about. The reason you've been feeling restless at night, the reason you've been searching for answers in the stillness, is because heaven has already sent them to find you. God has not turned away from you for even 1 second, and Lord Jesus has held every tear you've cried when no one else noticed your pain. The ache you've been carrying in secret is not hidden from heaven. It has reached the throne of God, and He has been preparing a miracle shaped in the very language of your suffering. Like this video and subscribe to this channel if you want to walk with God every day. Even in the moments when you felt forgotten, you were surrounded by angels who were speaking your name in their prayers. You may have thought no one cared. You may have believed your voice had been drowned out by the noise of the world. But I want you to know, heaven heard you. Not once, not twice, but every single time your soul trembled. You were not abandoned in your despair. You were being held by the hands of Christ Himself, who never leaves, never forgets, and never forsakes. And right now, at this exact hour, I have been sent to whisper this message into your life so you don't miss the blessing that is now walking toward you. There is no delay in God's plan, even when your heart feels like it's been waiting forever. What feels like silence is often sacred preparation. There's a reason some doors were closed, and there's a reason certain people were removed. Not because you weren't worthy of their love, but because they were never meant to hold what God is about to give you. God never allows anything to leave your life without replacing it with something more eternal, more pure, and more aligned with who He created you to be. The loss you felt was not the end. It was the opening for grace to find you in a deeper way. You see, your pain has purpose. Your journey wasn't wasted. Every moment of heartbreak, every night you cried yourself to sleep, every silent prayer you whispered when you felt like giving up, it was all carried straight to the heart of the Father. Jesus walked beside you through it all. He was there when your hands trembled. He was there when your faith faltered. And even when you stopped believing in yourself, He still believed in you. He never let go. He stayed. Type 999 if you trust Jesus. This message is not meant to scare you. It is meant to awaken something holy within you. Because you haven't missed your moment. You haven't lost your chance. You are not behind. You are not broken beyond repair. In fact, you are closer than ever to the turning point you've been asking for. The shift is not coming tomorrow. It's beginning now. Something invisible but powerful has already started moving in your favor. It will not come loudly or with thunder. It will come like soft rain over a dry field. quiet, gentle, healing. And it will revive every part of you that thought it had already given up. What if you could unlock a secret brain wave that top scientists discovered inside the hippocampus, the very switch that signals wealth and abundance? Hidden from the public for decades, this breakthrough can rewire your mind to attract prosperity faster than you imagined. Picture the stress of bills replaced with financial freedom and new opportunities. Every delay is a missed blessing, and those who act now are already walking into the wealth you deserve. Step forward before the door closes. Click the link in the video description and comments below to activate this ancient money wave and step into abundance today. If your heart has been aching for peace, God is about to bring calm to every storm that's raged around you. If your spirit has been weary from carrying burdens too heavy to bear, Jesus is about to lift what has been weighing you down. If your hope has felt small, your faith shaken, and your dreams buried beneath fear, this message is the beginning of resurrection. Not the kind that only touches your situation on the surface, but the kind that touches your soul and makes you whole from the inside out. Heaven has watched you remain kind even when you were hurting. Heaven saw the way you kept going, even when your heart was heavy. Nothing you've done in love has been ignored by God. Every selfless act, every forgiving word, every quiet moment of choosing to trust again, it has all been counted, treasured, and remembered by the Lord. You are not forgotten. You are favored. And that favor is now turning toward you in full bloom. There's no need to run from this message. You don't need to be afraid of what's coming. Because what's coming is not punishment. It's a promise. A promise that what you've endured will be redeemed. That your brokenness will not be the final story. That the chapters ahead are filled with new beginnings, open doors, and holy healing. You are not being judged. You are being restored. You are not being left behind. You are being called forward. This moment, this message, is heaven's way of reaching you before you let despair sink too deep. Don't close your heart. Don't walk away. Don't believe the lie that says it's too late. Because it's not. Jesus is still writing your story, and He's only just begun the part where things start to bloom again. Stay with this message. Stay open. Let the love that is here for you pour into every part of your soul that has been waiting for light. There were times when you felt invisible in a world that seemed too busy to care. You gave your heart in places that didn't give back. You prayed in silence, and you wept when no one noticed. But I am telling you now, not a single second of your pain was unseen. Every quiet cry was heard in heaven. Every piece of your broken heart was gathered and held by the gentle hands of Jesus, and now, those same hands are reaching out to give you what was promised all along. Type 2323 if you trust in God. The tears you've cried have watered the soil for the miracle that is about to grow. It hasn't been delayed, it's been forming in the quiet, in the unseen, in the sacred stillness where faith is built. The storm you went through was not to destroy you, but to deepen your roots. Because what's coming requires strength you didn't have before, and now you do. What's coming is peace that no one can take away from you. Joy that doesn't rely on circumstances. Love that doesn't abandon. And provision that doesn't come from the world, but from God's very own storehouse. Do not leave before the end, because this message is heaven's way of touching your life. This is the part of your story where things start to come together. And it won't happen all at once, but piece by piece, moment by moment, like sunlight slowly rising over a quiet valley. You may not understand how it's all going to work out, but trust that it is. You may not see the outcome yet, but heaven already does. And what they see is beautiful. What they see is your heart finally breathing again, your life finally resting in God's peace, your mind no longer battling fears that once kept you awake at night. Let me speak to your spirit now, to that part of you that still carries the weight of the past. You are not your mistakes. You are not the things that went wrong. You are not the betrayal, the loss, the guilt, or the shame. You are not the silence you had to endure. You are not the loneliness that made you question your worth. You are the child of the Most High God, redeemed, loved, held, and chosen, still chosen, even after everything you've been through. And the reason you are reading this message right now is because something sacred is being poured into your life. It is a whisper from God that says, I still want you. I still believe in you. I still have plans for you. No matter what others may have said, no matter how far you feel from your best self, this moment is a fresh beginning. God is not done with you. In fact, He's just getting started. There is no need to strive, no need to prove yourself, no need to be perfect. The love that's being sent to you now doesn't ask for performance. It asks for presence. Just let your heart be still. Let it be open. Let it breathe again. You are not required to have it all figured out. You are only asked to trust, to lean in, to receive. The rest will be taken care of by the one who knows you more deeply than you've ever known yourself. You are allowed to heal now. You are allowed to forgive yourself. You are allowed to believe again. Because the same God who brought light into the world with a single word is now speaking light into your story. You are not disqualified from joy. You are not too far gone for peace. You are not too broken for beauty to rise again in your life. What you thought was the end was only a turning point. Type 555 to receive miracles. And though it may not feel like it right now, the next chapters are going to surprise you. They won't be easy every day, but they will be sacred. They will be full of moments that restore your hope, your laughter, your belief in goodness. The kind of moments that make you stop and say, God, I see you. I feel you. I know you haven't left me. What if a simple 7-minute sound frequency could awaken a forgotten brain signal designed to pull wealth toward you like a magnet? Backed by shocking CIA files and neuroscience, this discovery is now changing lives everywhere. Think of debts melting away, promotions arriving, and abundance flowing freely. This is the one moment that can rewrite your future, but only if you claim it now, because hesitation will only keep you chained to the same struggles. Click the link in video description and comments below to experience the hidden wealth wave and let your financial destiny shift in your favor today. The world may try to distract you with fear, rush you into worry, or convince you that nothing will ever change. But this message comes to slow you down, to remind you that you are held by something greater than fear, that you are protected by the prayers of heaven, that you are being led not by your past, but by God's promises. And those promises never fail. So pause, right here. Take a deep breath. Let this be the moment where your heart starts to believe again. Not because everything is perfect, but because God is present. And where He is, miracles follow. Healing follows. Peace follows. And right now, He is with you. There are certain blessings that take time to arrive because they are being carefully crafted to match the depths of what you've endured. The pain you carried so privately, the nights you spent asking God if He still saw you, the moments when your faith was reduced to a whisper, all of those have become the soil where something eternal is now growing. This is not about quick fixes or surface miracles. This is about real, lasting transformation. The kind that makes your soul exhale after years of holding its breath. There are parts of you that felt forgotten, even abandoned by life itself. But I am here to tell you, not a single tear you cried went unnoticed. God has remembered all of it. Not because He wanted you to suffer, but because even in your darkest moments, He was weaving something far greater than you could imagine. What you thought was a detour was the exact path that led you here, to this very moment, to this message, to this holy appointment with your destiny. It's not a coincidence that you're still here, even after everything tried to break you. It's not an accident that your heart still hopes, even if just a little. That flicker of faith still inside you, it's not weak, it's sacred. It is the light that has kept you from being swallowed by the darkness. And it is the light that is now drawing heaven's favor straight into your life. Something you thought was lost forever is being restored. Not in the way you expect, but in a way that will feel more complete, more right, more divine than anything you thought possible. You have not missed your calling. You have not fallen behind. You are not too late. Everything that was meant for you has been waiting patiently for the moment your heart was ready to receive it, not in desperation, but in peace. And that moment, dear soul, is right now. This is your time to believe again, not because you have all the answers, but because the one who holds them has never stopped believing in you. God is not holding your past against you. He is not replaying your regrets. He is not angry at your confusion, your delays, or your moments of giving up. Instead, He is embracing you with a love so wide, so deep, so gentle, that even your most broken pieces feel safe again. You are not too much. You are not too flawed. You are not too late to experience a miracle that will bring tears to your eyes and calm to your heart. Type yes to affirm. I want you to know that what you are stepping into is not just a new season, it's a new story. The pages are fresh. The pain is being left behind. The weight you've carried is being lifted by unseen hands that know exactly how heavy it has been. God is rewriting what the world tried to ruin. He is redeeming what was stolen from you. And in that redemption, you will find healing that reaches deeper than you thought possible. This is the moment where your heart begins to breathe again. Not with fear, not with anxiety, but with peace. The kind of peace that doesn't depend on what others do or say. The kind of peace that comes from knowing God is for you, with you, and working through every detail of your life, even the ones you don't understand. You are not alone in the waiting anymore. Heaven is now walking with you into the fulfillment of every promise made over your life. There is something sacred about the way you've continued to show up, even when life tried to silence you. Something holy about how you kept holding on, even when it would have been easier to let go. That resilience, that faith, that quiet bravery, it has not gone unnoticed. And now, the reward is on its way. Slowly, surely, gracefully, the doors are opening. The healing is coming. The provision is arriving. And the joy that was once buried under sorrow is about to rise again. This is not the end of your story. This is the beginning of the chapter where beauty unfolds from brokenness, where peace returns to the weary, and where miracles begin to bloom in the very places that once felt abandoned. Stay open. Stay soft. Stay ready. Because what's coming will remind you why you never gave up. I need you to understand how deeply you are loved. This isn't the kind of love that fades when you fail or disappears when you're lost. This is the everlasting kind, the love that held Jesus to the cross, the love that raised him from the grave, and the love that has been walking beside you since your very first breath. That love is still holding you now. It hasn't weakened. It hasn't grown tired. It hasn't given up on you, not for a moment. There are some things you've been carrying inside for too long. Wounds that you've tried to cover up with silence. Fears that you've tried to bury under strength. Disappointments that you've tried to ignore because facing them felt too heavy. But the truth is, God never asked you to carry it all alone. He never intended for your heart to be weighed down by pain that only He can heal. Right now, in this moment, He is gently asking you to let it go, not to forget it, but to release it into His hands, where it can be held without breaking you. There's something sacred about the softness that's beginning to return to your heart. The way you're starting to breathe deeper again. The way you're slowly starting to believe that maybe, just maybe, better days aren't behind you. They're ahead. They're being prepared. And they're more beautiful than anything you've had to let go of. This isn't just encouragement, it's a holy promise. God is not done. Not even close. What He's building in your life will be worth the wait. And the pain. And the silence. Type 777 if you walk by faith. I know there were moments when you wondered if your life really mattered. When you felt unseen in a world that moves too fast to notice slow, quiet suffering. But I am here to tell you, Heaven never looked away. You were not overlooked. You were not unseen. You were not too quiet, too late, too broken, or too far gone. You were chosen. Still chosen. Still wanted. Still called by name. There is something so sacred about your resilience, even if it hasn't always felt strong. The way you kept choosing love, choosing peace, choosing to hold on, even when it felt like no one saw the fight you were in. God saw it. He saw it all. And now, He's bringing you to the other side of it. Not in shame, not in regret, but in healing, in purpose, in peace. What was once your private battle is now becoming your testimony. You are not forgotten in the crowd. You are not lost in the noise. You are not behind. The timing of your breakthrough has not been delayed, it has been divinely preserved. Because God didn't want to give you something rushed or temporary. He wanted to give you something lasting, something beautiful, something rooted in truth. And now, with your heart finally open, He can. Type Amen if you trust God's plan, and share this video with 7 people to receive abundant blessings and life-changing miracles. Let go of the guilt that has haunted you. Let go of the idea that you should have done more, or been more, or figured it all out by now. You were never expected to do it alone. You were never meant to carry the world on your shoulders. That burden belongs to God. Your role is simply to remain open, to remain faithful, to keep showing up with a heart willing to receive. Because there is something coming that will make sense of everything. Something that will redeem the broken seasons, restore the joy you thought was lost forever, and heal the places in you that haven't known peace for a long time. And when it comes, you will know, this wasn't luck, this wasn't chance, this wasn't random. This was love. Pure, divine, unwavering love. So, take this message as your confirmation. Let it be the voice of heaven gently guiding you back to trust. Let it soften the hard edges life has left behind. Let it remind you that God's love is not based on your performance but on His unchanging nature. And let it plant the truth deep into your spirit, that you are not too late for a miracle, not too broken for restoration, not too far for God to reach. You are closer than you think. Heaven is moving, and your heart is next in line to receive the fullness of what has been promised all along. Do not lose hope now. This is the part where things begin to shift, not because of your strength, but because of His love. What if the missing piece to financial success wasn't luck, but a hidden frequency inside your brain waiting to be switched on? Once activated, this ancient signal unleashes waves of prosperity, opening doors to opportunities you never thought possible. From sudden windfalls to long-awaited breakthroughs, it's transforming lives daily. Want to see how? Click the link in the video description and comments below to tap into the Money Magnet brain wave and begin your journey today. Others are already awakening this hidden signal and watching their lives transform. Do not be the one left behind while abundance passes you by. You've had seasons where you gave everything you had and still felt empty in return. You poured out love where it was not appreciated. You stayed loyal where you were taken for granted. And through it all, your heart still longed for something real, something rooted in truth, in gentleness, in the unwavering promise that love from God never fails. And though people may have walked away, though doors may have slammed shut without explanation, this is the part where heaven steps in and replaces what was lost with something more beautiful, more stable, and more full of light. Type 333 to welcome blessings. God is not finished showing you that His love doesn't come with conditions. You've had to fight through the lies that whispered you were forgotten. You've had to silence the fear that tried to convince you that your time had passed. But even in your weakness, even when your hands trembled from carrying more than you were meant to, you still stood. You still stayed kind. You still kept your heart soft in a world that often rewards hardness. And because of that, the windows of heaven are opening over your life in a way that no one will be able to stop or silence. This next season will not mirror the pain of your past. It will not echo the trauma that tried to convince you that joy was always out of reach. It will not recycle the betrayal that made you question who you were. No, this next season is one of gentleness, of clarity, of slow, steady healing. It is a time when the wind of the Holy Spirit will guide your steps with peace instead of pressure, with grace instead of fear. It will be unfamiliar in the best way, because it will finally feel safe to breathe again. Do not worry about how it will happen. Do not trouble your mind with the details of what comes next. God is not asking you to plan the miracle. He is only asking you to make room for it. Let your heart begin to prepare itself to receive what is being sent to you. Let go of the tight grip you've had on old expectations. The new blessings will not look like the old ones. They will not be recycled versions of what you lost. They will be brand new, untainted, and more suited to who you've become. There are people being removed from your path, not as punishment, but as protection. There are opportunities being delayed, not because you're unworthy, but because something better is being built behind the scenes. There are places where your name is being spoken with honor, even though you haven't seen the fruit yet. Trust that the unseen is moving in your favor. God is never late. He is always working in places your eyes cannot reach but your heart can feel. You are not forgotten. You are not an afterthought. You are not left behind. You are a masterpiece still in process, and every thread of your story is being stitched together by hands that know exactly what they're doing. Even the broken pieces have a place in the final design. And when it is revealed, it will make sense why it had to be this way. Why certain prayers took longer. Why certain doors stayed shut. Why certain relationships couldn't stay. It was never about rejection. It was about realignment. You were made for joy that doesn't fade. For peace that doesn't depend on circumstances. For love that reflects the heart of God. And that is what is coming to you now, not because you begged for it, but because God delights in giving good things to those who stay faithful through the valley. And you, dear soul, have remained when it would have been easier to run. You have hoped when it would have been easier to shut down. You have chosen faith, even in a storm. Type 1212 if you believe God is guiding you. And so now, heaven honors you, not with empty words or shallow comfort, but with real change, with real healing, with real breakthroughs that will make your soul rise again. Get ready, not with fear, but with quiet excitement. Get ready to feel your heart come alive again. Get ready to look back on this message one day and realize, it was true. All of it. You've carried so much on your own. You've been strong for others even when you were falling apart inside. You've smiled through the ache and kept going when you barely had the strength to stand. You've been the anchor in so many storms, but now God is anchoring you. This is not your burden to carry anymore. You are not responsible for holding up what heaven is now taking over. You don't need to hold the weight of the world on your shoulders when Jesus already carried it to the cross. There is rest coming to your spirit. Not just physical rest, but the kind of deep, healing peace that sinks into the core of who you are. The kind of peace that silences the loudness in your mind. The kind that helps you sleep without fear, love without hesitation, and dream again without the weight of yesterday holding you back. You were not created to just survive life. You were created to walk in fullness, in joy, in purpose, in peace. God is restoring what you thought was lost. And not in pieces. In abundance. He's not returning what was taken just to even the score. He's returning it multiplied, beautified, and sanctified by grace. You may not recognize the blessing at first, because it won't come in the same package it left in. But when it arrives, your heart will know. It will feel like healing. It will feel like home. It will feel like everything that left finally made space for something that was meant to stay. And I want you to know this too, what you went through was never punishment. It was preparation. God didn't allow the heartbreak to shame you. He allowed it to shape you. And what it formed in you is priceless. Compassion. Strength. Empathy. Depth. A soul that sees more. A heart that understands the weight of other people's pain. You are not the same person you were before the storm, and that is your strength, not your flaw. You are about to be surrounded by people who see your light, not your wounds. Who recognize the anointing on your life, not the moments you doubted yourself. Who love you for who you truly are, not for what you can offer or prove. These people will speak life into your calling. They will help you rise into the version of yourself that God has been quietly growing all along. You won't have to chase them. You won't have to convince them. They will find you when the time is right, because they are being sent by God, not attracted by chance. The pain you experienced was not a closed chapter. It was the soil where your next miracle began to form. And right now, that miracle is getting closer. You might not see it yet. You might not feel it yet. But soon, it will be undeniable. You will look around and realize that joy has returned to places that once only held grief. That laughter has returned to your home. That peace now lives in your body. That hope is no longer something you force, but something that flows naturally again. Type 888 to open doors of abundance. There will be a moment soon where you'll cry, but not from pain. From relief. From gratitude. From the overwhelming awareness that God really did carry you through everything. That He never left, never gave up, never changed His mind about you. That He always had a plan, and it was always good. So if your faith feels small right now, that's okay. God can do a lot with a little. If your strength feels thin, rest in His. If your heart is tired, let this message be your place to lay it all down. You don't have to know what's next. You just have to trust that God does. And He's already ahead of you, clearing the way, softening the ground, making room for what's about to come alive. You are stepping into a season of quiet, steady breakthrough. The kind that doesn't need to be loud to be real. The kind that changes everything without warning. Keep your heart open. Keep your spirit soft. Keep your faith rooted in what you know deep down: God is still good. And He is still writing your story. Archangel Michael says, "What I am about to reveal to you now is something heaven has waited for the perfect moment to deliver, and that moment is here. Not tomorrow. Not someday. But right now, because your heart is finally ready to receive what could only be understood through stillness, through suffering, and through silent endurance. There are certain revelations that don't come in the light, but rather, are formed in the shadows. And the shadow you've walked through has shaped a strength in you that nothing can undo. This message is not simply meant to comfort you. It is meant to shift you. To bring you into alignment with a divine timeline that has always had your name written across it. You were never forgotten. Not even when you stood in the middle of unanswered prayers and closed doors, wondering if God had changed His mind about your life. He hadn't. He never did. The waiting wasn't punishment, it was preservation. And now, because you stayed, because you endured, because you didn't give up when it would have been easier to walk away, the harvest is beginning to form. You will not leave this season empty-handed. The sorrow that once pressed against your chest will be replaced by joy that rises without effort. The loss that left your hands open will make space for what your soul was always meant to hold. The people who didn't understand you will fade, and those sent by God will stand with you in ways you didn't think were possible anymore. You are walking into restoration that will not just restore things, but restore you, the you that got buried under heartbreak, the you that once believed in miracles without hesitation, the you that trusted even when it didn't make sense. God is not rebuilding your life the same way it was before. He is making it new. That means some things cannot return, no matter how much your heart longs for them. And while that may bring temporary pain, I promise you, it is protection. God does not remove without reason. He does not take unless He plans to give more than what was lost. And when you look back on this moment, you will see clearly why certain doors had to close, why certain people had to leave, and why you had to stand alone for a while. It was all preparing the ground for something purer, something stronger, something eternal. What if you discovered a tiny, walnut-sized brain region holds the secret to endless wealth and success. Recently uncovered by groundbreaking research and once buried in classified files, this frequency is now available to anyone ready to listen. Imagine replacing worry and struggle with a life of financial ease and freedom. Interested? Click the link in video description and comments below to unleash this hidden brainwave and start attracting wealth right now. You have been guided to this message for a reason, and if you turn away, the chance may not return. This is your time to step in. Type 1010 if you trust in God's timing. I know there have been moments when you asked God silently, "Have you forgotten me?" Not out of anger, but from exhaustion. You weren't doubting His existence, you were just hurting so deeply you couldn't feel Him. And yet, in that silence, He was closer than ever. He was collecting every tear, holding every breath, and guarding every part of you that was too fragile to carry the weight. You were not walking alone. You were being carried. And now, that same God is setting things into motion that will move at a pace even you didn't expect. Divine timing is no longer a phrase you just believe in, it is what you are stepping into. What once felt delayed will feel perfectly placed. What once felt like loss will now feel like protection. And the prayers you thought were buried have actually been blooming underground this entire time, hidden only until the moment they were strong enough to break through the surface. You do not need to fight for what is already yours. You do not need to convince anyone of your worth. What belongs to you in the kingdom of God cannot be blocked, delayed, or taken. It will arrive exactly when heaven commands it. And when it does, you will recognize it, not because it will look familiar, but because your spirit will feel at home in it. Peace will wrap around you. Confirmation will flood you. And tears will fall, not from fear, but from the release of finally being held in a way only heaven could arrange. You've already done the hard part. You stayed. You grew. You trusted when it didn't make sense. And now, this is the part where heaven gives back. Not because you're perfect, but because grace has always. There's something sacred about the way you kept going when you had every reason to give up. You didn't wait for applause. You didn't need recognition. You stayed soft in a world that kept trying to harden you, and that is why you are being honored by God Himself. Not for perfection. Not for performance. But for endurance. For obedience. For the quiet faith that continued to whisper, God is still good, even when your life felt like a storm. You are being led to a place where clarity will replace confusion. Where peace will settle in the spaces once filled with fear. Where the anxiety that used to sit on your chest will no longer have a voice in your day. God is doing something inside of you first, because what's coming next requires a whole and rested heart. You are not being rushed to get over it. You are being led to heal deeply, slowly, and completely. The kind of healing that lasts forever. Let your heart believe that it's safe now. Safe to hope again. Safe to rest. Safe to stop fighting battles that no longer belong to you. God is handling what you cannot. He is speaking to people you've prayed about. He is clearing paths you didn't even know were tangled. And He is restoring peace to the places in your life that have been disrupted for far too long. This is not the end of your story. It's the quiet, holy turning of a page into something softer, brighter, and more aligned with heaven's original plan for your life. Type 1414 to step into divine protection. You may have walked through seasons where you felt like you lost yourself, where you questioned who you were because life stripped so much away. But let me speak gently to your spirit now. You were never truly lost. You were being uncovered. Everything that wasn't meant for your future was falling off. Everything that was meant to distract, delay, or diminish your light was being cleared away. And now, what's left is real, pure, whole, ready. This next chapter will not be one where you have to explain your worth. It will not be filled with people who make you shrink to stay loved. It will not require you to carry what God has already healed. This next chapter will be marked by peace that doesn't leave, joy that isn't shallow, and love that holds you steady, not hostage. You are entering a place of restoration, not just around you, but within you. The kind that restores your faith in people, in hope, in yourself. I know the pain has made you cautious. I know your heart has learned how to protect itself with silence, distance, or pretending not to care. But you don't have to live in defense anymore. What God is bringing your way doesn't require you to be on edge. It doesn't ask you to perform or pretend. It asks only that you remain open. That you let the walls slowly fall, brick by brick, so the light can come in fully. And yes, you will be tempted to question it when it arrives. To wonder if it's too good to be true. To flinch at love that is actually gentle. But when that moment comes, remind yourself that this is what you prayed for. That this peace, this favor, this breakthrough, it didn't fall into your life by accident. It was built through every tear, every silent prayer, every moment you stayed when walking away would have been easier. What's coming is not small. It's not temporary. It's not secondhand. It's sacred. And it's for you. You won't have to compete for it. You won't have to beg for it. You won't have to prove your worth to receive it. You only have to allow it. And the moment you do, your heart will recognize it as home. Let this message be your sign that the hard part is behind you. That the shift has already begun. That the heaviness is lifting. That your spirit is stepping into the peace that God intended for you all along. Keep your heart steady. Keep your spirit soft. Keep walking, even slowly. You are not walking alone. And every step forward is bringing you closer to a life that reflects the goodness of God you've always believed in. For far too long, you walked through days where your heart felt heavy and unseen. You gave so much of yourself to people and situations that never gave back. You stretched yourself thin trying to keep everything from falling apart. But through it all, God never lost sight of you. Even when your hands were empty, your soul was still held. Even when you whispered, "I can't do this anymore," God was already preparing a way forward. And now, the way is opening, clearly, quietly, powerfully. What if I told you financial freedom is not about working harder, but activating a dormant brain signal designed to draw abundance directly to you? Neuroscience proves this sound wave unlocks prosperity faster than any method known before. From unexpected cash to life-changing success, it's already helping thousands. Imagine looking back tomorrow wishing you had acted today. Do not let regret replace the miracle that is calling you right now. Click the link in the video description and comments below to turn on the ancient money wave and create the life you've always dreamed of today. Type 666 if you believe in God's grace. There is no need to rush anymore. You don't need to outrun the past or prove yourself to anyone. The kind of love that is coming to you now will not need convincing. It will not ask you to be someone else. It will not walk away when you are tired or unsure. What God is sending is the kind of love that stays. The kind that heals. The kind that says, "I see every piece of you and I still choose you." Not just from others, but from heaven itself. You are being reintroduced to the part of yourself that always believed in something better. That little spark of hope that never truly went out is now catching fire again. You're not the same person you were a year ago. You're not the same person you were even a few weeks ago. You are growing in ways that no one can see yet. You are softening where you once had to harden. You are opening where you once shut down. You are trusting again, even if it's only in small ways. And that's all God needs. Just a little space to pour in all the goodness you were created to receive. Let go of the timelines that haunt you. Let go of the pressure that tells you where you should be by now. God doesn't measure your life in deadlines. He moves in divine appointments. And this message, this moment, this quiet pause, is one of them. This is your reminder that nothing has been lost. Nothing has been wasted. Everything is being transformed. Even the delays. Even the detours. Even the things you thought were too broken to fix. There will be beauty again. There will be laughter. There will be peace so deep that you'll forget what it felt like to be constantly on edge. You will not always carry this ache. You will not always feel like you're waiting for something that never arrives. The tide is turning. The shift is happening. And it won't come with loud celebration, it will come with deep knowing. The kind of knowing that settles into your bones and says, "I am safe. I am loved. I am right where I'm meant to be." And in the days to come, you'll begin to notice little signs that confirm everything this message is saying. Unexplained calm. Quiet joy. Favor in unexpected places. People showing up just when you need them. These aren't coincidences. They are answers. They are heaven's way of saying, "Keep going. I'm right here. Don't give up. I know you've carried so much. I know the battle hasn't been easy. But you have not gone unnoticed."